Well, hello, everybody. We are thrilled to introduce you today to Dominique Rock. I'm going to butcher her name here now. Dominique Raccah. I'm sorry, Dominique, for stumbling over that. Who will be joining us at NINC in 2025 as a welcome speaker. And we're so glad that you could join us today. Dominique's team is also with us, and she will, I'm sure, point out who is who. The NINC conference is so excited that you're going to be speaking at the beach this September. And we are more than ready to share that excitement with everyone else. So if you would begin by telling us a little bit about yourself, about your business, your experience in publishing, and how it can help our conference attendees, that would be great.
Sure. I'm Dominique Raccah. I'm the publisher of Sourcebooks. And, kind of what's interesting for me at NINC is that I wrote the first book that we published. And I built the company sort of brick by brick into the company we are today, which is the sixth largest book publisher in America, which is a little staggering to me as well, trust me. And my first employee, just so you guys all know, was my then 11-year-old daughter. So she was the one who packed all the boxes and made sure that the books got out. And I think that one of the reasons that I like, first of all, I love talking to self-published authors because I've been on a similar journey, right? Um, but also, I think that we can learn from one another because you find these points of correspondence between the work that we do to bring, now books not written by me to to the world. Um, which, by the way, my book was terrible, just so you all know. Um, but it really was. It really was. Everybody's agreed that it was terrible and it's hidden from view. Um, uh, but it really created for us an author first approach that has led to us having a lot of self-published authors joining Sourcebooks as a platform. So we're the home of, many, many authors who you're going to recognize. Um, Last year, 31% of the New York Times trade paper list was ours. So it's not a small amount of best-selling authors who are part of our platform, but they join us because they really like the approach that we have to publishing, which is a little bit different from what I would call a more corporate kind of an approach. It's much more entrepreneurial. Um, it's much more collaborative and discussion worthy. And the other thing that people know about us is we're data geeks and we are, innovation central. Like we're the guys who are always interested in like what's next, what's new, and how do we build that
Mhm.
on behalf of our authors. I'm really thrilled to be joining you at NINC this year.
So
And with me, by the way, on this call, you'll see our head of marketing, head of adult marketing. So Molly Waxman is vice president of adult marketing. So many of the fiction best-selling authors that in fact, all of the fiction best-selling authors whose marketing we work with are done by Molly's team, and there's a lot of people on that team. Our head of comms, Audrey, who is just amazing, and my good friend and helpful partner, Kelsey Fensky, who makes sure that the trades, like everything works from in my world. So
we're so glad that you all could join us today, and we're just thrilled beyond words that you're going to be with us at NINC. So you have two workshops that you're going to be presenting at the beach this fall, and
yeah.
one is perception versus reality: where and how books are sold, and the other is why we go all in: what makes a publisher bet on a novel. Can you give us just a little teaser for both of those, just enough that people are gonna write them in ink in their planner and say, "I'm gonna make it to that one."
I think one of the things that I was interested in when I got the call to, join you all, was dispelling some of the mythology that exists around the world of books. And it exists in a couple of different ways, right? So one way that it exists is like, how are books actually sold? How do books get to be successful? Like, what is it that makes a book a New York Times bestseller? Or what is it that actually creates the momentum that you see that, that drives an author to success? Um, what's working in different channels, how do trends and data drive discovery, how do books really connect to readers, what is what are some of the secrets that you use there. I thought that could be really useful for people because I think those are things that people care about, in terms of really kind of unblocking some of that for themselves. And then also, I've heard such remarkable thoughts about why it is that publishers decide to bet on novels.
Mhm.
And having been in the room where it happens, um, I would say that it's not quite the way that people think. So I thought I might deconstruct that a little bit and talk about, what matters in platforms or not, what matters in brand building or not. When do we make different kinds of investment decisions? When do we, you know, people seem to believe that it's all about their social media and kind of how big their readership is existing, etc. I publish debut novels every day of the week that have zero readers. Like, nobody has ever heard of the book before. Okay.
Mhm.
Um, and I've done it in YA and in kids' books and in adult fiction and in nonfiction, and we've taken those books to extraordinary heights. So I thought it might be good to just speak about, like, speak directly to this author community that I love and that who are so entrepreneurial, and to talk about just, like, you know how do, at least, not how does everybody make these decisions, but a little bit about how do we make those decisions.
Right, right, and I know that that's gonna be wildly, popular, and, everybody wants those answers, that everybody wants them, so, trad, indie, everyone. So we did mention that you have been to NINC before, that you are,
Yep, it's my
you
fourth
said
one.
right, maybe not seasoned, but,
I
lightly
am not
seasoned.
seasoned at anything.
So, what is your favorite part of the conference? What do you love about NINC?
I love several things, and I really love the data moments at NINC, and that NINC has a lot of very actionable sessions,
Mhm,
and I find that incredibly useful. And I met with a ton of vendors last time, and we're using them now in some ways, and
mhm.
so I do all of that, like, I really do. Um, and the other thing that I love is the moments in the hallway, like where you are just, you run into somebody and they'll say, "Yeah, I published this book," and then you look at the book and you read the book and you, like, I love finding new authors, so I do all of that at NINC.
Well, that's great. That's great. And I know there's a lot of us who love that idea too. So that's fabulous. So there might be one or two people who don't know a whole lot about you. How would they go about learning more between now and September when they're going to be attending your workshop? You're on Facebook. I know you're on Clubhouse. Um,
I'm on Clubhouse and I'm
yeah,
on Facebook,
you're on
but
Clubhouse.
but I'll tell you, if you want to know about Sourcebooks or what we're up to, just go to sourcebooks.com. That's an easy place to get a sense of, the work we're doing around banned books, the work we're doing. I mean, we're very active in this community, and you know, we care a lot. We care a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and if you are interested in me, I admit I have not updated my profile in I don't know how many years, but my LinkedIn profile still exists and I am on LinkedIn often, so you can find me there.
There you go. Well, we appreciate that.
That's the thing about those profiles, you create them once and they exist forever. Like
They exist forever. They
probably
really
the
do.
only person on this call who can say this, but I probably still have a MySpace
Oh
profile
yeah. Oh
floating
no,
out
I have
there
no MySpace.
somewhere because I don't know how to delete it, but it's there.
Yeah, I actually like Blue Sky these days, which is
Yeah.
kind of like a nice place as opposed to I used to be on what was Twitter and is now X. Um, and I didn't delete my account because I've got 13,000 followers, so I don't see any point in deleting my account, but I never go there. I mean, I can't imagine the last time I posted on there. It's just I really like to avoid the toxic, please.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and our theme this year at NINC is Thrive.
Oh,
So
I love Thrive.
yeah, that's gonna fit in perfectly. And I know that Tadra and I are gonna be elbowing each other out of the way. No, you sit at the help desk. No, you sit at the help desk so that we can attend your sessions. I can't tell you how many times when Tadra and I talk during the day, she'll say, "Well, Dominique was on Clubhouse this morning, and she said," and I'm so glad that Tadra is able to take in input that early in the morning and listen to Clubhouse. It is too early for me to hear important things. And gotta think about them later in the day. But we're just
I find I learn a lot in that clubhouse room. I
mhm,
really do. And I
Right.
really,
Me too.
you know, and even that conversation we had yesterday about AI was really interesting. I mean, it was
Very.
just, what RJ said,
Mhm.
really, I was like, after I listened to it, I was like, oh, so I need to think about different pockets of authors in different ways here.
Mhm.
So,
well,
I mean,
clearly
it's just
I'm gonna have
great.
to get on Clubhouse.
Hey,
So that
listen, the water cooler room is an hour after the clubhouse room.
all right, well,
That's true.
maybe I can
That's
do
true.
that. But
Yeah.
Dominique, we're so thrilled that you're going to be joining us. We appreciate you. We appreciate the expertise of the team. This has been a long time coming. Your name has come up other times in the past for as a NINC speaker. We just haven't managed to make it work. So now this year we're like, give us all the information that you can. We'll just listen to you for hours and hours and hours and hours.
I'm really excited. So thank you so much for having me. I mean, I think this is going to be a blast
I think it is.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. We cannot wait to see you at the beach. For
at
anybody
the beach.
watching, for anybody watching the conference that we're referring to is the Novelist Inc. conference. It is September 17th through the 20th, 2025 in St. Pete Beach, Florida. It happens every year. To attend as an author, you need to be a Novelist Inc. member. Registration is still open at the time of this recording. So if you are a NINC member, please go to ninc.com and sign up. And if you are an author who is not a NINC member, please consider joining the premier organization for professional novelists. And last and least important, save our intro for last. I am Mel Jolly. My friend here is Tadra Candle, and we are the directors of the NINC conference. Thank you, Dominique. Thank you,
Thanks,
Kelsey,
Mel.
Molly,
Thanks,
Audrey.
Chandra.
We appreciate all of you, and we can't wait to see you at the beach.
I'm so thrilled. Thank you so much. Take good care,
Thank
everybody.
you.
All right.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.